Good morning. Hi, everyone. It's Tracy at TierraCast. And it nearly looked like I was going to have to cancel this demo today because TierraCast. Sorry. And it nearly looked like I was going to have to cancel because all of a sudden my the Zoom, my computer, the phone, who knows which component was not behaving, but it wouldn't recognize my phone as my second camera. So I spent, I don't know, I started setting up at about 9:15 and had to reinstall my webcam app on both my computer and my phone. And yeah, but I'm here. Hi. And this demo already got rescheduled once because I was out of the office on Tuesday unexpectedly. And so I thought, well, I'll be back by Friday, I think, and rescheduled it for today. And here we are. And hi, Gita. Greetings from Denmark. Gita always joins us from across the planet. We're always happy to see her. And I'm just getting things set up so I can see if you guys, who's popping in. And I am alone again today. I miss Julie, but she is out of the office as well. And hopefully we'll be able to rejoin our lives sometime soon. So we have what I think is a very fun bracelet to demo today. And it is what I'm calling the Boo bracelet. And I call it that because it's got our little letter alphabet beads on there. And then in addition to some of our 1-inch hammer tone rings and an assortment of our, oh, now hold on, Adobe's trying to do updates, you know? Let me just get that window out of the way so I can see what I'm doing, because I don't want to do Adobe Creative Cloud is needed to resolve this problem. What problem? I'm just going to quit that and hope it doesn't affect our stream, and it doesn't look like I did. So, it's going to be one of those days. It's Halloween, spooky stuff. Poltergeist in my office? I don't know. Anyway, this is the fun Halloween bracelet. It's nothing challenging. There's some crimping involved. There's the charms. There's some simple loops, but it's just such a fun design. And after last week's story ring demo, which I had a blast with, and I'm wearing my earrings today, which I really like. If you missed last week's demo, go look for that because that was fun to do, to make some kind of Halloween themed UV resin pieces to wear for Halloween. So that was fun. So this particular bracelet is not particularly challenging. It's what we need to make it is, as I was saying, the 1-inch hammer tone rings. This project is downloadable on the website, and the link is right there on the event info. And also the title of this video, I included it in there. So we've got the 1-inch hammer tone rings. We've got a little hammered Anna's clasp. We've got an assortment of our Halloween themed charms. We've got our alphabet beads. We've got some, I have an assortment of little decorative beads to embellish with. Got some of our chain, and for tools, I just need chain nose pliers, crimping pliers, wire cutters, and round nose pliers, which are also all listed on the downloadables. So let me switch the camera again. I agree, Gita. I think it is just a very cute design and jingly and jangly. I did put a simple version on my wrist today. It's just chain, just simple black and silver with the alphabet beads. But I did want to do the more colorful, creative one for the demo. So I'm going to switch my camera, and I am curious. It's going to take a minute for the feed to catch up. But when I was doing my demo last week and I switched my camera, my webcam was doing a reverse view. And today it's not. So we're all good. Never mind. I'm telling you, it's going to be one of those days. Yes, with the scary cat, Gita and I I am going to put a link to our Halloween charms in the feed because I had those pulled up earlier, but when I had to reboot, I had to reinstall and reboot and do all the stuff. I lost the little document that I was plugging links into. But let me just throw a link into our Halloween charms. One, and then I'll also throw a link into our alphabet beads because our alphabet beads have been in our in the TierraCast lineup for forever, I think, possibly a long time. Whoops, lost you guys. Here you are. You're back. So there's a link to both our alphabet beads and our Halloween charms, so you guys can browse those when you feel like it. I have, as I was kind of running through the part list, I've got the 1-inch hammer tone discs, and in this version I used the copper. And how's our lighting, guys? Is it okay? Let me check that too. Now turn the flash back on. Got our hammer tone discs. These are approximately 1 inch. They come in a copper, a pewter finish, and a brass. I liked the pewter and the brass, or the copper, for this because the brass was a little bit dark. So, and I've got my little alphabet beads, and I've got a whole bunch of our Halloween charms, and some of them do come in black. The bat and the kitty cat come in black because people they buy that. So we did used to carry some of the other Halloween charms in black, but they just weren't selling. So so away they went. But we did keep the kitty cat and the bat in black. Let's see. Also have a little collection of just fun, colorful beads that I'm going to want to add to the bottom of the links because it is a 2-hole piece. It has a hole at the top, hole at the bottom, and it's also slightly curved. And the way I created the bracelet, I hung it so that the charms were in front of the concave side. I suppose you could do that either way, but I like the way it kind of curved around them and framed them. I also have some of our black chain, and I thought I got a clasp out. Yeah, I didn't. Let me grab one of those. This is, we have a range of sizes in this particular clasp. It's called our Anna's. ANNA, it's called our Anna clasp, and it comes in a variety of sizes. And it also is one of the clasps that that we make in our widest variety of finishes. So it is, black is an interesting finish for us, and some parts sell and some parts don't. We've experimented with various parts in black. And it's really, there's not that much of our line that is available in black, but a few of our clasps we make in a complete range of our finishes because that way there's some options for people who want to use those less popular finishes. I've got some crimping pliers. I've got some wire cutters. And right now, the beading wire I'm using is Soft Flex, one of their colors. They have a lot of lovely colors. And this one says it's called citrine, but it's really kind of an orange, and I like that. I'm only stringing a very short, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cough. I'm only stringing a little short section of beads, so don't need a very long piece. And so I cut looks like about 5 inches. Excuse me. And I was going to thread that through the loop of the charm, the toggle ring, but I really need to string my my crimp bead first. So I'm attaching my little piece of wire to my toggle ring and adjusting that. So it's just about a 1/8 inch loop there. And I'm going to just crimp that to secure. And most of the people who watch, well, you know, most of you who watch live, I know you guys are making jewelry all the time. But other people who pop in and watch later aren't necessarily experienced. So if you are not an experienced jewelry maker, there is a whole range of basic how-to jewelry making technique videos on our blog. It's TierraCast.com/blog. And so you can find videos, blog posts with videos for crimping and jump rings and simple loops and wrapped loops, all the stuff. So I've just got my my beading wire attached to my clasp ring, and I'm going to string on. I've got some little size 8 orange seed beads. In my original design, I'm sorry, my work surface is a little bit of a cluttery. We'll get through it. My original design used some size 11 round seed beads, but I happened to see some size 8s in my stash, so I decided to grab those instead. Now, wait a minute. I'm fouling it up already. Since I want the boo to be reading right to left and then leading into the charms, I need to start with my B, not my, not an O. The reason I was out Tuesday was because I felt like I had, on Tuesday morning when I got up to come to work, I felt like I was catching a cold. And that's really weird because, you know, for the last year and a half, I haven't had a cold. I haven't had a flu. I haven't had anything because we're being so careful. We're wearing masks when we're out. We're, you know, depending on where you are. Here in California, we're pretty much still wearing masks. They did just relax some protocols, but nobody's caught anything for like a year and a half. And if you do catch something, you run and get a test. So I was feeling a little funky Tuesday morning, and I went and got myself a test, and then I just had to stay home until I got my test results and knew that I wasn't sick. And it really didn't turn into much. It just felt like a little bit of a chest cold, and still I have this little bit of chest irritation and tiny bit of cough. But once I got my negative test result, I was like, oh, okay, I can be back in the office. And so here I am, but I'm noticing I'm coughing a teeny bit. And I do need a few black jump rings to go with everything. So I'm just pulling those out. And I am going to attach the other end of my beading wire to one of these jump rings. I just want to make sure it's closed securely, so my beading wire doesn't pop out. That can happen. All right, so I've got my second crimp bead. I'm threading that through the jump ring and just going to come back through the crimp bead and secure that. This is this soft flex colored beading wire is a medium, so it's nice. You know, it's pretty sturdy. It's going to hold up very well. And again, I adjust that so that I have about a 1/8 inch loop. And I also don't want to pull, I do want to make sure that my wire is adjusted so that all the slack is taken up, but I don't want to do that so tightly that the beads are tight next to each other. I want there to be enough slack in the wire so that the beaded strand can still move. I hope that makes sense, but you don't want these beads so tight next to each other that there's no movement. You want them to have a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm just adjusting all that, and then I'll use my crimping pliers to secure that, like I did the first one. And if you're not an experienced jewelry maker, your crimping pliers have 2 notches. They have a C-shaped notch in the rear and then a more oval notch or almond shaped up at the front. And when you secure a crimp tube or crimp bead, you first want to make sure that your bead, your wire strands are not crossed, which is a tricky little thing to sometimes do, but you do want to make the effort to make sure they're not crossed. And then you use that rear notch to crimp down on there, and it makes a little indent. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. And then you come in with the front notch and just kind of roll it over. You scrunch it down and kind of curves it together. And you do want to pull on your wires and make sure it truly is secure before you go trimming anything. And it all feels pretty secure. So I can use my flush cutters to cut off that extra. So that is the first little section of the bracelet. Just have my boo. I do have a little too much extra wire showing. So let me trim that off. Now, if this was a whole string of beads where I knew I could thread the tail back through the beads, I would do that. I would keep the tail longer and thread it through the beads. It just adds another little extra layer of security on a a strung section. And I was talking about making sure there's plenty of room for the beads to move, and you can see that there is. So I'm happy about that because it'll give that bracelet a little more flexibility. The next thing I need is just a few inches of chain, and the bracelet as written, the instructions as written calls for 5.5 inches, and the total length of the bracelet is about 8 inches. And the way I did the math for, as you see, when we go forward, I have the charms placed every 7th link. So I am going to stick with my 5.5 inches because I don't want to do more math. I just don't. But if you were making the bracelet, you could adjust the length of your chain so that your bracelet was shorter or longer as needed. And then you would just have to adjust the distance between your charms. So, but like I said, I don't feel like doing math today, so I'm going to go with my original design, and it will end up being about an 8-inch bracelet. So I'm going to open this one of these jump rings back up, the one at the end of the beaded strand, and attach that to the end of my 5.5-inch piece of chain. And then the rest of this is very easy. I'm just going to start attaching, and I think for the fun of it, I'm going to use the pewter finish, discs, and I think I'm going to mix in some of the black components. I'm going to alternate, I think, because they're fun, and I didn't use any of the black ones in the first bracelet. So if you're familiar with our Halloween selection, we've got a witch, we've got a bat, we've got a zombie, and our scary cat, and our ghost. We have a jack-o'-lantern, and is that everybody? That might be everybody. We also have a plain pumpkin. We have this jack-o'-lantern, but we also have a charm that's just the pumpkin on both sides. So that kind of makes that a little more useful through the whole fall season rather than just Halloween. Let's see, is there any question? You know, Tracy, I see that you're saying this would make a great necklace, and I agree. And I considered doing this demo as a necklace instead. But again, I didn't want to do a bunch of a little bit lazy this week, maybe? I don't know. So anyway, I'm using our medium-sized oval jump rings. They're a 4x3mm internal inside dimension. I'm going to close this one to back up again so you can see. Jump rings sometimes are measured on the outside, but we prefer, all of ours are measured on the inside. So this one is 4x3, which means it's 4mm inside diameter on the length side. Sorry, words are hard. And then the 3mm going this way on the narrower part of the oval. So that's how we describe our jump rings. And this doesn't apply maybe so much to oval jump rings, but it does to round jump rings. People use jump rings for chainmail, and they want to know what the inside diameter of those jump rings are to know if they will work for a certain chainmail pattern. So that's why you see jump rings often listed with an inside diameter. So now I'm going to start hanging on. I was trying to attach the charm and the link together, and it wasn't working. So I'm changing my tactic and attaching my jump ring to the chain. And I did attach it to the first link of the chain right after the jump ring. Hopefully that means that all my math will work out. And then, I don't know, guys, I'm having struggles. I think I need to make sure that these jump rings are open quite wide to make sure that everything's going to fit on there. There we go. All right, got one of the discs on, and now I need to add one of the charms. Going with the ghost on this one. And we know it'll fit on there because I did it already, right, guys? So it's given me trouble, but it will fit on there. And you know, if you decided you didn't want to have to fuss with stuff like that, if it's a tighter fit than you want, just use some bigger jump rings. You can do that. I think I chose these jump rings because they were close in size to the links of the chain. So I think that's why I went with the size. We do have a larger oval jump ring. I think it's a like 5x3.5 inside diameter. So on the first one, it's here right next to the jump ring. And then I counted 7 over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's why I'm attaching my second charm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does anybody out there use chain stays? Do you know what those are? They are a tool. I could show you one if I can go grab one. They are a very clever kind of tool that you can use for when you're working with a chain design. You can stretch it between this tool holds the chain stable so that you can work with it more easily to hang a bunch of stuff from it. And as soon as I get the second charm attached, all right, come on now. As soon as I get the second one attached, I'll grab one of those to show you that. It's a really cool tool, and I think they're still out there. I've had mine around the shop for a long time. But, all right, guys, I'm making an executive decision right now just to make the demo easier. I'm going to use the larger oval jump rings because I don't want to have to keep fussing so much while you guys are watching. That's just painful. So where were we? So you can see these are our larger ovals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just going to make this quicker and easier to do with the larger jump ring. Ta-da. Okay, hold on just a second, guys. I'm going to grab, oh, and I put the cat on backwards. I'll fix that. Hold on and let me grab one of those chain stays to show you. So this is a chain stay. And regrettably, this one is, I've had it for many, many years and it's broken. But the way they work is you've got these pinches here and you've also got little posts. And so if I wanted to, well, I guess I would have to leave some extra length on the chain to do this, but I would just attach it between the ends of the chain stay, and it just holds your piece of chain in one place and makes it very easy to work with and to align things. Very cool tool. So if you guys weren't aware of that, you might want to check it out if you work with a lot of chain. So let's fix Kitty because he's backwards. All right. And I did imagine that this was going to be a fairly quick demo. You know what? I'm going to use jack-o'-lantern here. But it's not going all that quickly. So thank you guys for being patient. And hi, Leslie. Nice to see you. Geeta is mentioning that oval jump rings are the best, and she is right, because one of the things about oval jump rings is that because of the weight of something, the weight of hanging off a jump ring is always going to be at the bottom of that oval and not at the opening. Whereas if you're using a round jump ring, that's not necessarily the case. The jump ring is going to spin around, and sometimes that weight might be sitting right at the opening of the jump ring, which, you know, in theory, you might, it might be less secure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one, sorry, 3, recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we go. So that's just a little kind of security thing. If you were making something that you really wanted to make sure was secure and you weren't going to risk losing any of the components, you might want to go with the oval jump rings. That said, sometimes nothing will do but round jump rings. And I like our, we have a 5mm round jump ring that's 16 gauge wire, so it's very sturdy. It's a nice jump ring. Won't come open easily. All right, what's next? I think bat. Let's make sure I put him face up instead of face down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So who's dressing up for Halloween? Are you in if you have little kids, you know, it's maybe more likely that you might have a costume picked out. If you work in a situation where everybody dresses up, yeah, you might be going to do something. We're a little wishy-washy around here. There's been a few years when we've all made the effort and dressed up. But I'm not sure this year. Not sure if I'm going to put some effort in. Hi, Sabrina. Nice of you to pop in, and you're homeschooling your kids. You're a hero. And we do hope that you can pop back in and watch when you can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our last disc and charm. This is our witch, and she is one of my favorites because when we designed these Halloween charms and we were coming up with ideas, I sketched her. So she and the ghost both are based on my sketches. So I feel very proud of them, like my little children. Right, so I got my last one, and I'm just going to use that a second. I'm going back to the smaller jump ring that suits the size of the chain, and I'm going to use that to attach my toggle bar. And Dawn says, some adults are just really big kids at Halloween time. Do I know any? Is this a challenge, Dawn? Are you saying that there should be costumes? Dawn might be trying to be incognito. If you're looking at the people who are watching and commenting, there you'll see a Dawn Swayze hide, and she's our bookkeeper. And she is a big fan of Halloween. So I'm detecting a little challenge. She might be saying we should dress up next week. All right, so the main bracelet is all assembled, and the only thing to do now is to add some color at the bottom. So I pulled out a bunch of different colorful beads that I felt were kind of in the Halloween theme. I kind of pre-made some of the simple loops, but I didn't do them all. So you'll have to suffer. Tracy Alden is dressing up, and she's doing a yard haunt. Fun. Tracy, I think you have kids, don't you? What, younger ones in the house? Dawn and I both have kids as well, but they're grown and out of the house. So there's less motivation to put that effort in at home. So what's your costume, Tracy, is what we want to know. And Dawn, we also want to know what your costume is. All right, so I've got these ones. I'm not sure how one would find these. I just found them in my stash, but they are these wonderful little, almost like little metallic squiggles all over. And I'm pretty sure they're glass. They might be acrylic. So I usually try to be able to tell you guys where I got something or make sure I'm using stuff that's easily found, but I don't even know how to tell you how to look for those, but I just love them. So I had to use them. And I think of green and purple as Halloween colors too. I don't know about you guys, but I do. So yeah, that is the last step, is just to add some color to the bottoms. And with this original one, I just used the orange, little orange check glass dangles, but I thought we'd get a little more festive for the demo and just use some combos. So again, for anyone who ends up watching this who's newer to jewelry making, I am just finishing, I'm stringing beads onto a head pin and just finishing it off with a little simple loop. And again, that technique is on our blog or on our YouTube channel. Just watch a short video that shows you how to do those. People have different techniques. So in the video, I show the technique that I use the most, which is to trim in advance and then to roll my loop. And also I don't know about you guys, but I keep what I call my shorts, because I just keep a stash of them. And I have to admit there are many, because I hate to throw things away. And the theory is I may use them, but they really end up sitting there for a long time before I do. But anyway, I use them because they can easily be used as eye pins. You can make a little loop at one end and string a bead and make a bead link. So I keep all my little shorts. We're not going to use this. I'm just demonstrating. So yeah, I hate to throw things away. So I keep my shorts. All right, so now we have to figure out what's going where. And I think green. And then another orange down there. And I think I'm going to use jump rings to attach these. With the original ones, I just attached dangles right at the bottom in the hole. But, and I did something to consider when you're working with these discs is that's a little bit of material there. You have to make sure your loop is big enough to go around through that hole easily. So you want to make your loops kind of roomy. But in this case, I think I want to go with a jump ring because I'm adding multiple dangles. So I think these little, I could, you know what, in the interest of making things easier and not throwing in a bunch of different sizes of jump rings, I'll try those medium ovals. And if they don't work well, I'll go back to the bigger ovals. I was going to use a round, but I don't know about all of you, but I end up writing instructions and part lists for projects a lot. That's a big part of my job. And I always find it a lot easier if there's not 4 different kinds of jump rings on a project. So when I start a project, I am always mindful of that. What kind of jump rings am I going to use, and can I use it throughout the whole project? And, you know, just to make it easier on myself. And if someone's going to do the project, they don't want to have to look for 5 different types of jump rings. So I see that some of my loops are not quite thoroughly closed. So I will go back and fix that because I won't want to lose stuff. Oh, this is coming out fun, you guys. I like it. And it really would make a very cool necklace. So if anybody does that, shoot a picture to me because I would like to see that. It'd be very fun. Especially with all this color hanging off the end, off the bottoms of the discs. Oh, Tracy, you're an overachiever. I'm reading Tracy's comment. And she doesn't have children, but she's in a community that with a lot of families. And so she has 3 costumes set up for this year, 2 for Zoom meetings and 1 for the yard haunt. You are an overachiever. But that sounds so fun. It really was when I was raising my kids and you know, we had the family. Halloween was a big deal. We put a lot of effort into our decorations and our costumes, and that was fun. I kind of miss those days, but you know what? We still do. My partner and I still do some Halloween effort at my house. We hang ghosts around and we do some decorations and we try to make it fun for the neighborhood kids. I hope that it's been rainy here. Thank goodness, we need it, but it will be, I don't know what it's going to do next week. I'll have to see because that will affect how much effort I put into the decorations outside. Right. I think that's it. I like this version with the silver and black alternating and the different colored baubles. What do you guys think? All right, I'm going to switch my camera because I think that's all I have to demo. You know, as I was saying, it is an easy project. If you do want to make it shorter, then you would just want to, you know, use a shorter length of chain and move all your embellishments closer together. And then it would work just fine. I'm going to switch my camera back. I'm back. So I'm just thinking about the whole necklace thing. I have to tip my camera down or move back a little bit. That would be very cool. I definitely think someone should do that. It might have to be me. This could be fun. If I do turn this into a necklace, I will take a picture of it and share it with you guys, because that would be an impressive Halloween adornment, I think. So thanks, guys. Thank you for joining me. And I don't know what I'm doing next week yet. I lost a couple of days this week, so I'm not that far ahead, but we'll figure it out. Not sure if it'll be Halloween themed or if I'll be moving on. And there is, I should mention, the Great Bead Extravaganza, the Fall Fest is coming up. And so if any of you are members of that Facebook group, the Great Bead Extravaganza, you already know this. The Fall Fest is coming up the second weekend of November. It's the 13th and 14th. But there's a lot of activity going on between now and then, including what we call takeover days. So a takeover day is when one of the vendors, the Great Bead Extravaganza vendors, just takes over the group social media for the day. And so they do, I think Kelly Sutton is having her takeover day today. And that's Kelly Sutton's store is, oh my goodness, what's the name of her store? Sorry, I have forgotten. She's got a store up in Canada. So yes, and someone's mentioning there is so it's Kelly's takeover day today in the group. Mine is on Monday. And so I'm going to be doing a couple demos and probably do some kit giveaways and stuff like that. So I hope you guys will join me for that. And someone is mentioning that there's a bead swap, and some of the vendors and some of the participants have traded some components. And I think there's like 8 of the group are going to be doing demos throughout the day on November 5th. Everybody got a kit of components from a lot of the other people, including us. I think we sent some components for the kids, and they're just going to do design sprees all day using these kits that everybody sent. So that should be really fun. That's on the 5th. So keep that on your calendar too. And if you're not a member of the Great Bead Extravaganza group, go join, because there's a lot of good stuff. There's the takeovers going on, there's the bead trade design thing going on, and then there's the event on the 13th and 14th. So more about that. And if I'm going to do something, I am doing that on Monday. Normally Tuesday is my other live demo day. Let's see if I can pull both of those days off in a row. So stay tuned and thank you. And we'll see you soon. Bye.